Thank you. Senator Wicker.
Well, I think I will follow the chair's lead and insert my statement in the record, thanking the chairman of the subcommittee particularly for the efficient way in which he has run this hearing today, getting it started as the vote was going and moving it along at an efficient pace. So thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your concern with this, and my statement in the record will stand. I hope it's all right, still all right for Americans to make money in this industry. Mr. Nijam, I would assume that the people at MySpace don't mind making a dollar either. I think there's a way for innovation and investment and job creation to occur in this industry while still protecting children and young people, and I hope we can do that. I appreciate the testimony of all of you. Let me just ask this, and I'll start down here with Mr. Snowden, and maybe people can respond if they disagree. I'm trying to figure out where we might have differences of approach on the panel. Mr. Snowden, you say we look forward to working with this committee to craft policies which properly balance the need, on the one hand, for flexibility in responding quickly to behavioral, technological, and market changes with concerns, and I'm paraphrasing your word, concerns for safety. So what are your specific concerns there, Mr. Snowden, that might upset the balance between the need for flexibility in innovation and safety? And also, you say the wireless industry believes with voluntary initiatives and strategic collaborations will continue to ensure delivery of benefits of wireless products and services to all Americans. What gives you pause, Mr. Snowden, beyond voluntary initiatives that might have a stifling effect on innovation and keeping the United States on the cutting edge of this industry?
Well, thank you very much for your question, sir. I think the short answer is I'm not sure if there is large scale or any disagreement among any of us. We work collaboratively with just about everyone on this panel. I've just met Mr. McIntyre today, but I look forward to working with him as we go forward. In terms of our concern is, and I think you saw this in the working group's report, there is no one size fits all. And if you take the mobile space and you say, well, you need to do this, you treat the mobile community the same way you treat the online community versus email or whatever it might be, or television, it's not going to work. And I think we spent a whole year debating this issue of, is there one way to do this? And the conclusion, as you saw in the working group that you saw from HAMU, is that there isn't one way to do it. And I think from our standpoint, we're not in this to make money in terms of on the backs of exploiting children. That is not our goal. We saw the headlights of what was going on in other industries when we began to watch our industry grow and explode in terms of the technology. And one of the things that we did immediately, for example, is we started working with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children on child pornography. We wanted to make sure that wasn't on our networks. We began to work with the FTC. We began to work with other parties so that we could make sure we were smart on these issues so that we can protect kids. A lot of this is behavior of children. That's facilitated by various products that are out there. We look at it from a three-pronged way. It takes education, it takes the law, it takes technology. And so there's not just one way to do it, it's everything working together.
Anybody wish to take issue with Mr. Snowden in that regard? Follow-ups?
Yeah.
Mr. Nigel?
I noticed you kept looking at me, so I assume that's a hint to say something. Senator, what I want to point out, I actually want to step back and try to frame the discussion a little bit, and it's partly in response to what you said, but partly in response to what Chairman Rockefeller also said. when we looked at these issues, and I, for one, have looked at them for many years, one thing that's become very clear is this, and this is the pain point for parents. And I know I was asked to let you know that I'm speaking on behalf of myself rather than News Corporation and during the question session. Parents are looking at technology and saying, it's that thing that my kids know and I know nothing about. And then they're making a jump to a conclusion which they don't need to make, but they're doing it. And that is, my kids know that technology, I don't, and therefore I cannot raise them when it comes to technology. And I think what we have to do is help parents understand that as parents, they still have the right, the power, and the ability to educate their teens and their kids about safety, just like they did from the day their baby was brought home from the hospital. When they did it with the cribs and teaching them, then they did it with the parks, then they did it when they sent their 13-year-old to the mall and said, you're not going to do this, you're going to stick with your group, you're not going to talk to strangers, you're not going to disclose info, things like that. And what you'll find is the lessons they've been teaching all along, if they continue to teach that in these new mediums, whatever they are, doesn't even matter what they are, those lessons apply perfectly well. And the second thing you find is that teens and kids actually learn them. We often think they don't, but they do. They learn how to look both ways when they cross the street. They learn how to avoid that creepy guy in the mall or tell somebody there's somebody in the mall that they want to stay away from. They learn those things. And then from a purely business perspective, what's really interesting is oftentimes people have a feeling, businesses got to make money, got to make money, got to make money. What's really interesting here in the safety area particularly is that businesses actually benefit by doing the right thing tremendously. And they benefit because their reputation is at stake, and nobody wants their reputation to be tied to predators and other misconduct, as that's the business where you find that. And VCs won't invest in businesses like that. Advertisers won't advertise and align their billion-dollar supported brands with businesses with reputation issues or criminal issues and things like that. So there's actually an incentive from day one to focus on Business 101. And that is you can do the right thing and you will be doing the right thing for your business. So from that perspective, I go back to what I've said before in other settings, and that is look at this issue from the perspective of how do you build a town into a city, into a country, into a state, and look at all the different things you do there and take those same learnings and start applying them in this area and help people understand that they can actually do that and succeed that way.
Senator Klobuchar.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for convening this important